Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a book review on Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is her first novel and this is an author that I have been putting off for a really long time. I own all three of her novels and I just hadn't gotten around to it until recently. When I picked this one up, a lot of people told me to read her books in chronological order. I picked this one up and I just completely devoured it. I read it in like 24 hours. I loved it so much. This story takes place in Nigeria and you are mainly following this 15-year-old girl named Kambili and her brother Jaja. Their father is an extremely wealthy man in the area. They live in a very beautiful, very modern house. They go to one of the best private schools. Like even compared to their extended family, like their cousins and things like that, they are extremely wealthy. They never really had to want for anything in terms of like food or treats or anything like that. However, their father is also an extremely religious person, dangerously so. He uses religion as a way to really discipline his family and uses it to an extreme which it's not supposed to be used to. But then one day one of Kambili's aunts and cousins come to visit and they end up convincing Kambili's father to let Kambili and Jaja go visit them at their home, and Kambili and Jaja's eyes are kind of open to what the rest of the world lives like basically, and the types of privileges that they have and the types of privileges other people have compared to them, things like that. This book was so good. I know I've already said that, but I think it's worth saying again. The writing in here was not at all what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a lot more complex, and while this is probably considered a literary novel, it isn't literary in the way that you would think it would be. The language is very straightforward, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in the way that Adichie doesn't overly decorate her words, and I think especially for the story that she's telling, that's really important because it's all told from the perspective of this 15-year-old girl, so it feels very much like you are in her head the whole story and you are seeing things from her point of view, so anything overly complex or flowery just wouldn't feel right for the story that's being told, which I really appreciated. I think that's also why I was able to engage with the story right away. It wasn't trying to purposefully be beautiful just for the sake of being beautiful. Like, the language that's used is very straightforward because she's telling a very specific kind of story, and I really, really like that. The characters in here are so fully fleshed out and so complex in the absolute perfect way. Even the characters that you hate, you also kind of feel bad for at the same time. Adichie does a really good job of showing both the positives and negatives of every character that's in this story, which I think is a thing that authors don't do very often, and I think even like people in general either see people as being good people or bad people, and in this novel they're both. Just like in real life, most people are both, and the people in here are both. And while there are definitely things that are very clearly wrong that are done in this novel, there are still points where you still very much feel for every single character that is in here, in my opinion. Adichie also does a really good job of providing this sort of coming of age story for this young girl. It's very much about her eyes being open to the rest of the world. She lives in a very sheltered home, so she's not exposed to a whole lot. This novel really explores a lot about her eyes being opened, about not only the world around her but also the people in her life and what they're truly like, seeing a lot more of the gray that's in the world as opposed to the clear black and white that's been lined up for her whole life. She also does a really good job of just exploring the complex feelings that you can have for people who are in your life, particularly family members. Even though it's clear that Kambili's dad doesn't do great things and even Kambili's eyes are being open to those things, she still cares about her father because it's still her father, and she has these conflicting emotions within her about what she should do about her different situations, because she doesn't want to bring harm to her father, but she also recognizes the fact that he's doing things that aren't right. So it's about that balance and complexity that you can feel in those types of situations. It's just so good. This book is so good. It's less than 300 pages or right around 300 pages. So I feel like if you are someone who hasn't read Adichie yet, this is a fantastic place to start. This book is so good. I'm so excited to read her other ones. Yeah, just pick it up. Or if you've read her other books and you haven't read this one yet, this one is just, it's so good. People tell me it only gets better from here, which I don't even know how that's possible, but I'm sure it is. I'm excited to read her other books and I love this one so much. Pick it up if you guys haven't yet. Pick it up. So yeah, that is my quick review on Purple Hibiscus. If you've read this book, feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys thought of it. Or if you've read any of her other works, feel free to comment about that down below. Let me know which one is your favorite. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching.